Bueno, ¿cómo estamos?
Bueno, amigo. Welcome, everybody, to another episode, the Project 90 podcast. My name is Antonio, and I'm here with el jefe más grande, número uno, Marco Munoz. Marco, how are you?
Marco Antonio Munoz. I'm an Antonio too.
We got two Antonios in here. It's too much to handle, but we're going to make it work. Marco, ¿cómo estamos, amigo?
Molto bene, fratello.
Oh, man.
Right off the heels of watching the MLS All-Star Game.
That is correct. So MLS All-Star Game was just finished up maybe 10, 20 minutes ago. We want to jump into that a little bit, Marco. I think that was a fun one, you know. That was a pretty fun game, but we're going to jump into that, touch on that. We want to talk about today this wild news also that has been coming out just out of nowhere, to be completely honest. Mr. Notorious Infantino selling part of the World Cup, something like that going on. This is crazy to me, right? And we're going to close this one out with, look, the soap opera of Italy, right? It seemed like in less than 24 hours, something Maldini resigned, Pirlo's gone, Leonardo left, and what did they do? They found a new coach, technical director. They got Mancini back, Claudio Ranieri's in. So we're going to go over that, and then we'll have a notable mention at the end. Something very kind of bitter, something very sad happened in Italy that we want to just give a shout out to, but we'll get to that at the end of this episode. But before we get there, we want to start with this amazing sort of fun event, right? Skills challenge, All-Star Game, MLS All-Stars versus Liga MX. As you can see, San Jose Earthquake, shout out Daniel Muni, center defender, putting on for the MLS All-Stars. Marco, what did you think of this game, man?
Shout out LAFC, Son Heung-min.
Dude, do that again. Do that again. Who?
Son Heung-min.
Oh, fuck. I thought it was Heung-min's song.
Sung-min, whatever. Son.
The other way. Son, what's up, son?
That's what they brace. Man, Dude. This guy's been on fire.
Fire. Coming off the World Cup, right? Got to mention Carlos Hill from New England Revolution. 2 assists. The guy's a real playmaker coming out of Valencia in Spain. This guy came to the MLS. He runs the MLS. This guy is probably one of the best players at the New England Revolution I've ever seen. Great player, just playmaker all around. You know who I did fancy, though, towards the end of that game, jumping a little ahead here, but we'll jump all over the place, was Rondon for Liga MX, man. Forgot about that guy, dude.
El Rey Rondon.
Rondon, was he Pachuca?
Pachuca, Everton.
Yeah.
He was, Zenit St. Petersburg. Mm-hmm. Just last year, he was with Real Oviedo, also a Pachuca-owned team. But yeah, man, this guy was all over the place. I always say this, 2 different games. First half, it was like the MLS, all the MLS All-Stars were concerned about was attack. And when you get an All-Star game, just like you get in the NBA, we're not worried about defense. We just want to see goals as fans, as players. As players, this is our opportunity to freaking shoot from all over the place and score however many goals we want. Fun first half. And you and I were talking, like, man, the way this is headed, if Liga MX doesn't get their head up out of their ass, this is going to be a scraping. As soon as I saw Evander come in the second half, I was like, oh, here we go. This guy's going to score. And what does he do? This guy always finds the back of the net. But kudos to Mohamed and the Liga MX players. They were able to get their shit together in the second half. Yeah. I think they had more opportunities than they actually scored because, man, the Canadian goalkeeper, I'm not going to butcher his name.
Crepeau, dude.
Crepeau, because I feel like I butcher his name all the time. We saw him in person last week in Orlando versus San Jose. And, man, we don't talk about goalkeepers being the players of the match, but this guy had a solid showing, 7 saves.
He kept him in there, man. And, you know, Liga MX was on MLS's ass at the end of the game there, right? Rondon's a problem, man. There was the whole VAR, the whole penalty check, Jackson Reagan. I still don't know if he got a touch on him or what happened. It looked like he kind of did. Not too sure. Referee looked like he was just letting things just go all over the place. But yeah, man, speaking of Liga MX, obviously they scored the first goal, right? Which is kind of, I wasn't expecting that because
Me either.
like you were telling me, like a lot of their players got sent back home. They got games coming up. Some of their star players for the Liga MX went home, so they weren't in this game. But we did see two of the World Cup players, right? Lita was in there, Gallardo was in there. So, it shaped up to be a nice game, but I think just depth off the bench, MLS just had more quality, right? This had more quality.
100%.
Shout out to Crapo, solid game. Shout out to Daniel Muniz, San Jose Earthquakes, representing the only player to make it. But yeah, man, Thomas Mueller came on. Excited to see him. Honestly, did not really do anything. A lot of these players are out there; they're just having a good time, which is
For a second,
understandable.
for a second, I didn't even think he touched the ball for like 10 minutes.
I don't think he did. I really think he came on. He maybe touched the ball once, and then after that, it was like he wasn't even on the field. To be completely
Yeah.
honest, right? So yeah, man, it's a fun game. But we were also talking. I think it's interesting to sort of bring up and talk about is this whole mid-season MLS All-Star Game. You just come back from the World Cup. You just took a huge break. You're in the middle of your season. You're firing all gears again, trying to get things going, and you're just gonna break the league real quick and do an MLS All-Star Game not even in a soccer stadium, right? It's in the Panthers Stadium in Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what are we doing? I personally think, right, it should be more along the lines of the NFL, right? The All-Star game they do at the end of the Pro Bowl, right? Right before the Super Bowl, all the players in the Super Bowl don't play it. They go out there at the end of the season, they have some fun. But MLS just seems like, hey, let's just put everyone's health on risk, right? At risk here. Let's just go out. Let's have fun. And let's hope nobody gets hurt and just have a nice sort of gathering of the soccer community middle of the season. I mean, what do you think of that? I think that's ridiculous.
Yeah, there's just a whole lot of stuff wrapping up. You got Leagues Cup around the corner. You're coming off your previous weekend game. Yeah, man. I don't know. Maybe it's just one of those things. Maybe they're just trying out this year. Like, hey, we're just gonna knock it out, get it out of the way, so we don't got to worry about it, and then we just focus on the season. In the long run, I don't know. I wasn't the biggest fan. It just personally, I'm not the biggest fan of All Star games in general. But
Mm-hmm.
hey, they got it out the way. But yeah, I'm with you, man. I'm actually I like your idea, right? Like the NFL, what the guys are going to the chip. They stay out of the All-Star game, the Pro Bowl game is what they call it. And everybody else gets to focus and have fun. And there's no restraints on anyone. If you get selected, you get to go.
I agree, man. I don't know. To me, it's just one of those things that just screams MLS to me. I know they're changing the season now. They're going to line up the calendar to match Europe's. So, they're sort of changing things up a bit, but I still find this whole all-star thing. I mean, imagine back in like 2010, for instance, you go to La Liga in Spain and then you get the Serie A, for instance. You stop them mid-season when Real Madrid and Barcelona are having absolute
Yeah.
wars on the field. And you say, all right, guys, we're going to get together here for 3 days and we're just going to go play this nice, fun, uh, sort of scrimmage game, if you will. I
I
mean,
like to
it's crazy.
I'd like to see the ratings, like all these challenges, the goalkeeper challenges, the shooting challenges, to see if there's any bang for their buck there. Right. I know in American sports it's all-star game for this, all-star game for that. So I understand why they're trying to do it. And but I'm curious to see what's the ratings for that and if people are really tuning in outside of the United States and the telecast that we got going on here. But something I would like to say is this whole Liga MX versus MLS All Stars is getting kind of old, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want to see, especially if they're going to continue to have them during this time, get one of these European clubs who are going to start going on tour in the summer and get all these friendlies under their belts, right? Let's start seeing Wrexham versus MLS All Stars game, All Star team. Let's see
Yep.
a Spain team come in. They get to play their young players who
Mm-hmm.
are trying to get minutes going into the season that are not going to get minutes, right? They're trying to see if they make the final rosters or whatnot. So I want to see that, and also because as much as like the MLS and the Liga MX, I like it when the Europeans dominate, right? Because
Yeah.
it shows you the level that they're at.
Yeah.
in comparison to what we got here in the States. Although it's a fun, competitive, domestic, we got a lot of players from overseas, but you can tell the difference when two worlds collide.
Oh, absolutely. And they used to do that, right? They used to have, Bayern Munich came out, Everton's come out. All these European teams would come out and do exactly what you said, and then all of a sudden they seem to change it, make it Liga MX versus MLS. Why? I couldn't tell you. I don't know. But at the end of the day, they do that. I'd love to see the numbers as well. Is this really a home run of an occasion in terms of like making money, selling tickets, merch, all these things? I don't know. Maybe it's for charity. I'm not too sure, but I would just like to see it after the season. That's my main concern with all this. But today, final score 4-3, MLS. Shout out MLS. Shout out Liga MX. Another MLS All-Star Game wrapped up. And Marco, I heard you mention something a little bit ago here, something about a bang for your buck. Okay, and I think this is a smooth transition into this craziness that we're hearing right now. This I was not expecting to hear this week, but Infantino selling shares or stock of the World Cup to 20%. I mean, what have you heard about this? What is this nonsense that we're hearing? Because UEFA, I've already heard, is they're ready to go all in against this because they're selling the game essentially. The game is not for sale. You can't sell soccer, especially the World Cup.
Anto, fratello, mio amico.
Yeah,
What what what
yeah.
what haven't we heard? What haven't we heard about what's going on with FIFA and Infantino and this nonsense? And now you get to buy stakes in this. Like, what are we doing?
I
Why
don't
are we
know,
still
man.
talking about the World Cup? The World Cup is over.
Yeah,
Like, let's move on. We got the Euros coming up. We got Nations League coming up. We got the Gold Cup. We got Copa America. We want to worry about. Like Infantino, we don't want to stop. Stop trying to get all the attention. You remind me of Jerry Jones. You want all the attention on you right now, right?
yo,
So
dude.
why are we
Shots
talking?
fired.
Why are we talking about this nonsense? Right? Do you remember when he tried to do the biannual World Cup and they got shot down?
I do, yeah. He proposed that idea because, of course,
Yep.
what is it going to do? It's going to generate more money, whatever,
Commercial
whatever, whatever.
money, commercial
Yeah.
money, commercial money. Just like the
Hmm.
hydration breaks. I was not a fan. He
No.
says they didn't get a dime, but there was Powerade logos all over the place.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't know, man. This screams continuous corruption, and they're looking for their benefits. And he's even saying that if you don't jump on board, you're gonna suffer not getting funded, which is about 40 million
That's crazy.
for those that don't jump in and on board. So from what I've been reading and what I'm seeing, UEFA is going to hold an urgent meeting tomorrow with all the big wigs on their end, and they're really hammered down on what's going on. I was reading earlier today, the CONCACAF is like, hey, we didn't know anything was going on. We're just hearing it now. Unfortunately, we're seeing it through social media just like everybody else.
Yeah.
When I saw that, I was like, that's a total load of crap because
Yeah.
it reminded me back when Blatter was in charge.
Yep.
Who was the vice president? Jack Warner from the CONCACAF was the vice
Oh,
president who got charged with racketeering, fraud, and all this glamorous stuff that's when you're corrupt, you get charged for, right? So, I don't know, man. I just kept going down a rabbit hole and reminding me of the documentary for our fans, subscribers. Go check it out. FIFA Uncovered. This has been
yes.
going on forever, Anton. This has been going
Yeah.
on forever since like 1974 when the Brazilian guy took over. I don't know, man. This is taking stuff away from the game, from the beautiful game. The beautiful game is not looking too beautiful. It's taking the integrity away from the game. And ultimately, for us fans, like now when we see these questionable calls, like we've been talking about, like
Yeah.
it's like, all right, that makes sense. There's some money behind that. So
Yeah.
which is what we shouldn't be worried about. We should be worried about just watching our guys, the best players, go head to head, focus on the clubs, on the countries, on these competitive leagues. But unfortunately, we're here talking about Infantino trying to get rich. And that's all I
Man,
got.
it's the World Cup is for the fans, man. It's for the beauty, for the love of the game. Okay. And speaking of documentaries, this is starting to remind me of. I watched a documentary on the formation of the Premier League, the modern Premier League as we know it, formed in 1992, and how these investors came together, these TV, I would believe it was Sky. They came in, they said, man, this is like a bank that has not been tapped here. Like we can make so much money here if we get the rights to this, if we blow it up. They looked at the Super Bowl, for instance, here in America, and they saw what they were doing. They're like, how can we generate more money at the expense of this sport? Now you see the Premier League, and the ridiculous amount of money is in the Premier League, the investors that come in and buy these clubs. So while it makes sense that you want the game to grow, you need money for the game to grow. I think from the investor standpoint, the Infantino and these guys like that, it's not for the love of the game. Ultimately, it's truly just greed. That's all I see. And people are screaming from the heavens about, oh, this is capitalism, this is blah blah. But really, it's just human greed, right? It's in our nature as humans. And these guys, they're taking it way too far now. All right, you already wanted to expand the World Cup to 48 or to the 48 teams like we did. Now they're talking about 64 teams, which we all know what that means. It just means more games, more ads, more revenue, ticket sales, everything.
Two months worth of World Cup.
2 months. Imagine you just finished a whole season. Now you got a 64 team 2 month World Cup that you got to go to. You're going to play. They just played 8 games to win the final, Spain. Imagine playing 10 games. I mean, it's just like, it's getting ridiculous. You're taking the joy, the excitement. You already added hydration breaks. Now we're playing a 4-quarter game. So, I mean, it's like they're subtly changing it. And then he drops this bomb where it's like, oh, I'm going to sell portions. And one of the main investors coming in, who's a private would be JP Morgan. So it's like, you hear names like that and it's like, come on, bro. We all know this is a money play, right? If it's not already obvious. So it's just, I don't know how a guy like Infantino can just come in like that, take over the beautiful game the way he has, the most iconic tournament of all time, of all sport, the World Cup, and attempt to do what he's doing. Do I think it's going to work out? I honestly don't. I think there's going to be a lot of backlash. But then again, we don't know who's behind the scenes, man. We don't know who these people are, what they're doing. Obviously, they're going to try to incentivize it or make it look as if it's beneficial. But at the end of the day, we both know, and we all know what's going to really happen. There's going to be some individuals whose pockets get lined with a ton more cash because of it.
And
Not
look,
a fan.
and look, it happens everywhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to throw shade on people trying to make money, right?
Yeah,
I don't think
no.
all these organizations, I don't think all these leagues are registered as nonprofits,
Mm-hmm.
right? They got people to pay, right? They have overhead. But if you're gonna do stuff like this, like don't throw it out to the public. Do
Mm-hmm.
it behind the scenes. What we don't know, we don't know. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Let there be a little bit of secret and mystery to the game, if that's the case, because Infantino's not the first. Blatter wasn't the first,
right.
right? The previous president wasn't the first, and it could be happening all over the place. To your point, Premier League and Sky Sports in Mexico, you got Televisa, and Televisa owns the biggest club in Mexico. So there's always talks there about stuff going on. So it's happened all over the place. It's just unfortunate that we just keep hearing about it, and it's taking the focal point away from what's really important, which is the players, the leagues, the clubs, and the fans. And
Mm-hmm.
now we gotta look over and pay attention to what's going on behind the scenes with all these big wigs.
Yeah, and we already saw it this World Cup with the ridiculous rise in ticket prices, right? And it
Couldn't
makes
even
you
go.
like, you under. I mean, yeah, we had a game here at Levi Stadium, what, an hour and a half away, and it's like that we're priced out practically, and they're saying, oh, it's only $700 for the cheapest ticket, only $700. Like, what are you talking about, right? And you look at that and you think, okay, I understand you have this tournament, you have people to pay, you got to make money. No endeavor makes sense if you're not making money. Like, I get it. But why not then figure out ways to maybe charge these people who want to put advertisements, right, from these large corporate, I mean, they have bags of money, these corporations that run these ads. Charge them more. Charge the people who can afford it more. Charge these big people that are putting this on and buying ad space during the World Cup. Charge them more and give the fans the opportunity to afford a ticket. I mean, you look at like SoFi Stadium, and everybody who went to that game has money, essentially. Like, where are the real fans? The people who literally, they cry when their team loses. Like, they feel so much emotion watching their team play. Like, they go there with nothing but passion for the game and their international team, and all these people have been priced out. So it's sad. You can see it's being commercialized like big time, and yeah, man, I hope it comes back to the fans. Ultimately, that's what it's about. Like you said, it's about the players, the fans. But yeah, man, this is just new news coming out. We'll see what happens. It's interesting, right? It's interesting,
Well, he
but
gave
for now,
well he gave them a deadline, September something. So I guess we'll circle back
yeah.
come September and let the people know if they didn't find out already what this nonsense is about.
Yeah, and if you're someone listening to this and you know exactly what's going on or know more than we do, just drop it in the comments so you can sort of educate us on this. Because all I heard was some brief, Instagram posts, a few little things on Instagram and social media. So yeah, just drop it in there because I'm kind of fascinated by what's going on here with FIFA now. Corruption was obvious before, but now it's just like it's yelling right at our face, right? Like we see it.
And
I
for
don't like.
everybody that's been commenting on TikTok,
Oh yeah.
YouTube, we appreciate you guys and
Yep.
gals wherever you are. We're not experts. We're just here having fun, having a conversation. So feel free to fact check us, correct
Yeah.
us.
Tell
We're
us we're
happy to
stupid. Whatever.
yeah, we're happy to
Yeah,
understand and get your point of view. And hey, we might get your point of view or topic on the next episode.
that's true. And the best part about a soccer game, Marco, and this sport, 100 people could watch the same game and come out of it with 100 different opinions, right? It's the most amazing part. But moving on, speaking of international soccer, Italy. We saw this total fiasco go down. Maldini came in, wanted Pirlo. Malago, new president, said, I don't want Pirlo. He's associated with the Russian betting. No Pirlo. So he got a big fat X. You're out. No Pirlo, no party. Maldini said, nope, I don't care. I want Pirlo. So he said, I'm going to resign. Leonardo resigned. And in less than 24 hours, Malaga seemed completely fine that Maldini didn't want to stay. He's like, no big deal. I'll figure it out. And what does he do? He brings in who, quite honestly, I would have liked to see as manager with Maldini there. But even now, the new technical director, Claudio Ranieri, I'm really stoked about that. I think that guy, obviously, if you don't know who that is, if you remember Leicester City winning the Premier League, he was their head coach. This guy is a legend of an Italian coach.
And
And go ahead.
intelligent as fuck.
He is, man. This guy's like a master of the craft. Like he truly bleeds this game. Like he knows what he's doing. And they had some great words. Him and Mancini. They had a press conference, and Malago brought them both out. And basically, Mancini, to break it down simply, he sees Italy. They have a lot of quality, a lot of good players, and it's just about giving those players the opportunity. Right. Their main goal and their main focus right now. It's not on the World Cup. It's not even on the Euros necessarily. It's on this next set of games for the Nations League. And in this next set of games, Italy has quite the opponent, let's just say. They play first off, they play Belgium, okay, which is pretty decent squad to be going up against, especially when you've been Italy, right? You want some good competition to see where you're at.
It could
After
also be a new Belgium. I'm sorry to cut you off because but two of
yeah,
those guys are probably not going to be with the squad.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna be a clash of new teams, really. New experiment. And it's for a trophy, the Nations League, so we expect to see some competition. After Belgium, they have Turkey, which we saw them have a disastrous World Cup, but more or less that Turkey team is gonna be the team, right? We know they have some good players, Arda Güler, Çalhanoğlu's on the team, Kenan Yildiz. They're led by Vincenzo Montella, the Italian coach. So that's gonna be a really good game for Italy. And then coming up after that, though, is like the game of games, right? This is the ultimate test to see where you're at. And that game is against France. They're playing France. And after France, they go through all three of them again. Okay. So for Italy, Ranieri was saying, he's very experienced, obviously. And I think Mancini and Ranieri both have this way of being very personable, creating a good locker room. Obviously, Mancini won the Euros in 2021. And the biggest factor for that team, I think, was their team chemistry and cohesion, the locker room. They had a really good atmosphere, really good high spirits that tournament. And I just think there was a lot of respect between the players and Mancini. Donnarumma came out. He said, this is, exactly what we want. Essentially, Mancini, Ranieri, they're very happy with it as the players. And Claudio Ranieri just said, look, he has a 12-year-old nephew, I think he was saying, how their goal here is to give these kids, all the youth in Italy, the opportunity,
Bambinis.
I bambini, yeah, all the kids, the ragazzi, to see the Azzurri back in the World Cup and at a World Cup, because they haven't. There's kids who are 12 years old, even 16 years old, that have never seen Italy in the World Cup. I can't even, like, for me, it's hard to fathom. I saw them win it when I was 12. So imagine if I was 12, I'd never even seen Italy in the World Cup. It's
You know
crazy.
what? You know what? Though I would have rather seen Mexico win it once and have them miss the next 3 World Cups. At least say they got a star on their badge.
That's true.
So you
Not
know what?
complaining. Yeah.
So you know what? I don't want to hear any freaking complaining on your end,
Hey,
all right?
man.
Because
It's
your
it's
team,
more.
world champs, they took
Yeah.
out my guys, Zinedine Zidane, Materazzi. Great mental fuck with Zinedine Zidane. You got
Yeah.
Zizou out of his game, and ultimately offer that Suri, and they got the World Cup. But yeah,
Yeah.
man, two very strong guys at the helm. Ranieri, who they offered the position last year. I don't know if you remember,
I do. Yeah.
but he was with Roma, and what do Ranieri and Roma have in common? They're attached at the hip, right? They have
Yeah.
each other's parts.
They
So
do.
he said no. But yeah, I listened to the press conference in Italian as well. I tried to take away as much as I could. But yeah, echoing a lot of things that you were saying. And Mancini, right? Very experienced at the
Yeah.
highest level, has won it all with that Azzurri. And he gave a lot of opportunity to a lot of these young guys. And he even did some dual national
Yeah.
players when he was at the helm. So excited to see what's going on. And I'm sure a lot of these players, even if it's been in the youth systems, they've been around these guys
Yeah.
as some sort. So it won't come to a shock to what they're expecting or what is needed in the locker room. And ultimately, guys like Donnarumma, they know what to expect. They've been there. So I'm excited to see what's going on because all those teams that you mentioned in the Nations League, they're tough. I didn't
They
see
are.
any easy. I didn't see any easy games there. So
No.
hoping for the best, and hopefully we see them at the top.
Yeah. Mancini laid it out pretty cut and dry. Their main focus is the Nations League right now. After the Nations League, obviously qualifying for the Euros, going to the Euros. And then after the Euros are all done, said and done, then they can focus on the World Cup. And I think that's the right way to approach it. Italy's at a point, man, where they can't go any lower. They're at the lowest they can go. The only place they can go is to stay where they're at or to go up. And with Mancini, Ranieri, and even, some of the players that are going to be coming back to the team, the Donnarumma, Calafiori, Sandro Tonali, all these guys who are sort of established, good players. Hopefully we see Chiesa come back because they have a lot more years still with the national team. Another World Cup, I think, is in the cards for them. So I really hope he can kind of bring in some of the youth now, the Pisili, the Palestra who just went to Chelsea, and all the other names that are coming up in Italy. Bring them around and sort of build a new team and start a new era for the Italian national team, man. I miss it. I miss seeing them. I hate hearing all this shit being talked all the time. Well, you didn't even qualify or this and that. But Italy, man, it's fully deserved. They didn't qualify. They just didn't. They haven't, what do you say? They just haven't been good enough. Bottom line, right? And I think it's the wake-up call that we ultimately needed. But yeah, man. So we'll see how that plays out. Nations League coming up in about a couple months, September and October, I believe. But some other news that you had sent to me today, I didn't see it. I'm very sad about because the absolute legends that have played for this club and come out of this club, just to name a few: Roberto Baggio, right? Andrea Pirlo, Luca Toni played there. Sandro Tonali played there. Brescia,
Mm-hmm.
Balotelli played there too. I mean, so many players have either come through there, been part of the team. Legendary club, man. Brescia went bankrupt today. They went bankrupt, called it quits. Club is dissolved. I've seen this happen in the past with Parma, and as we see, they get rebranded, they get brought back. I'm really hoping that's the case with Brescia because it's one of those clubs in Italy that's just renowned. Everyone knows them. They're one of the older clubs, and it's just, yeah, sad day, man, for Brescia and Italian soccer. I just remember clearly and vividly. If you haven't seen this goal, man, you or anybody listening, Roberto Baggio ended his career at Brescia. Okay, and
Mm-hmm.
he
Mm-hmm.
played at the same time as Andrea Pirlo. And I'll never forget this, like from half field assist. Pirlo pops it over as he does. Baggio coming over the shoulder, the ball coming over the shoulder, takes a touch to the left. This beautiful, crispy, saucy touch past the goalie and just side foots it in with the left foot. Just class, bro. The guy's 38. He had like a quarter of a knee left. Like this guy was just falling apart. Still had the sauce, still had the touch, still had the divine ponytail. Don't ever forget it. And, you know, he might have missed that penalty in the final in 94, but Baggio will forever and always be loved by the Italians, and he will go down, I think, not only by Italians, but by a lot of fans around the world as one of the GOATs, man. And not to mention Guardiola also
Hey,
did play
Guardiola, huh?
did play Brescia with him. So a lot of legends coming out of Brescia, man.
So what kind of sauce was he on? Because like here in the States, we say marinara sauce. Was he
Yeah.
on some type of spaghetti sauce? What type, man?
He was on a carbonara, dude, because that's my favorite.
Carbonara.
Yeah,
Okay.
carbonara, man. There's some fresh sugo from Nonna's garden, man. Something just
Oh, no,
real
no, no.
nice, dude. Some bolognese sauce. I don't know, man, but whatever he was doing obviously worked. Okay, the guy had been broken down, similar to like a Ronaldo of Brazil, just these major injuries. But even after the injuries, their talent, their threat to the other, it was just always undeniable, right? Always undeniable. He's my
The
favorite player growing up of all time. Still is, man. I mean, come on.
the bodies are gonna break down, but the magic is always gonna be there.
You're right, man.
But yeah, man, bittersweet. Actually, more so just bitter on my end, right?
Yeah,
To your point,
for that, yeah.
I know only so much from Brescia, and but so much history on that club, and it's one of those clubs that man they could scout anyone, and then they knew that they would turn into somebody, but ultimately, it comes down to the bad decision making behind the scenes, right?
Yeah,
Um, I was reading into it that they're just so in debt that they just had to call it quits. But
yeah,
hopefully, it's one of those things where you get a new investor. For
yeah.
example, that happened with Parma, and then over
Mhm.
here Deadpool with Wrexham, right? And
Yeah,
they bring it back because these clubs they mean a whole lot to the cities, to the people across Italy, and ultimately it created a lot of idols and legends for the sports, not only in Serie A, but all over the world. So uh, definitely bitter. Don't like to see things like this happen, but ultimately, uh, to what we were talking about earlier, this game is also a business, and businessmen aren't too savvy sometimes.
they are not, man. It's another iconic club going bankrupt, but I have a strong feeling we will see them again. It's another episode, Marco. It's another
Hey,
episode.
next episode, man, let's talk about some of these transfers that we got going on.
A lot of them.
Um, yeah, a
Jordan
lot of them.
Henderson to Chelsea. I mean, we've seen Real Madrid going dumb, spending that money. Marco Palestra, speaking of Italians, going to Chelsea. I mean, there's
Yeah,
moves all over the place. A lot of rumors still, but a lot of transfers have already been done. Is there one that stands out
yeah,
to you real
and
quick before we close this out?
yeah, and some of them in the pipeline, still negotiating, whatever the case may be. But one of the standouts and sneak peek into the next episode, uh, Sebastian Berhalter, man, he's off to the championship.
Yes, that's
Something
right.
yeah, something I would like to see the Liga MX players do, and the owners like just let these guys go, even if it's in the second division. But we'll talk about it in the next pod. Mexicans
Yep.
like to charge a lot for their players, but
Yep.
shout out to Sebastian Berhalter. He's going to get a lot of experience playing the championship,
Yeah.
right? Uh, yes, it's right under the Premier League, but man, that league is so competitive.
It
The
is, man.
Championship League is so competitive. And you're playing with guys who were just in the Premier League, teams who were just in Premier League the previous season, who sometimes keep a base of their players.
Yeah.
So, yeah, shout out to him and wish him the best of luck.
Yeah, man. Quality player. We mentioned that. I remember we went to the Earthquakes versus Vancouver game, and we were just talking about how he was clearly like the best player on the field, you know, in terms of his midfield performance. And we thought, at least I thought, and I'm sure you did too, that a move was coming, right? And after the World Cup, he kind of cemented that. I'm glad he got a move for his own career, and it's good news for the U.S., right? So yeah, next episode, talk about some of these transfers. If you listened to this entire episode, if you're here at the end, we really appreciate it. If you want to find us on all of our social streaming platforms, go to Project 90 Soccer You'll be able to find everything there. Like, subscribe, it helps the channel. Leave a comment. We want to hear what you think. And yeah, man, it's been another episode of Project 90. We appreciate you listening. Marco, any last words?
Give us a follow, like, comment. We'll catch you on the next one.
Yee. Peace.